Hey everyone, Fatty from Pack-a-Punch Traders here. Just gonna go over the top plays for tomorrow, March 31st. That's coming up in half an hour here for me. But yeah, so I don't really have much to go over this week. I have barely been watching the market. I've been pretty busy. I finished up a data science boot camp recently, and now just preparing for interviews. Working on getting an internship soon, so. Next couple weeks, I expect to be a little hectic, so might not be posting as much, but I will still make an effort to post more, at least than this week. So let's get into this. We got top plays. One of them, ZURA. This one here, been on watch all week. We had an incredible push from 8 to 36, and now we're decently off the highs, but it's having a hard time pushing lower and lower, and this is kind of the recipe for timing out, or maybe not timing out, but recognizing when a bottom might be coming in, a potential reversal. There's not much selling pressure coming through, and it's having a hard time pushing lower, holding around 15 key level psychologically. So just waiting on really the volume to pick up, but a good example of how this works out, we had a couple today of multi-day bounces. CISO took a bit longer than some bounces, but as you can see here, it slowly kept fading, but the selling pressure kept fading as well. And each low, it had a hard time pushing lower. The lows were tightening up after you had some decent spacing between them here in the first few days. Um, but yeah, so usually a good indication of potential reversal. And here, not a massive bounce, but still from the mid high 20s to the high 30s so far. It can't keep continuing. Could be possible, but that's what we're looking at. The tightening in the lows, the failure to really push lower, holding around a key level, and combining that price action with the volume. Um, so yeah, just looking for that fade and selling pressure. There was another bounce today that was from the watch list. Box D. This one had a decent gap up, and it held up and pushed even higher. As you can see, shorts just failed to break this thing down. Usually, I always talk about how if a play really just takes off pre-market or after hours, I don't really know how many shorts are still going to be trapped in there to fuel another move higher. After you get that quick reversal, it's usually done. But in this case, it failed to break down. Some shorts got trapped again, and this led to another push higher. So let's see the daily chart here. If there's any indication, yeah, you got the push lower, and then towards the end here, you got a little bit more tight in the lows, and selling pressure kept fading, and that led to the bounce. So doesn't have to happen. Let's keep that in mind. It just lines you up on the right track, having decent odds behind you. So ZURA, that's what we'll be looking for now, that bounce play. Then we got TORO, I believe that's from today. Here we are approaching, still kind of far, but really impressed with how this thing held up today. If we go back, we had a very nice move out of this yesterday, but retreated, and this morning came down all the way to where it started, and then it held up and it grinded back and got back most of the gains from yesterday. So I am seeing a bit of a failure to break down here, if it's not obvious, but with a low floater going to a Friday to the weekend, I'm thinking shorts are having a hard time getting a handle of this. So if we do get a push to the high twos with some volume behind it, I'll wait and see how it confirms the high twos, 3-ish area to get a test of the low threes. That's really the next resistance area I'm seeing in the 320s, 330s to the 350s. So low to mid threes, there's going to be some resistance, and just how far this came, I just did not expect this to come back. Not that far off the high. What's today's high? 265. Yeah, it's about 10% from yesterday's high. So we'll keep this on watch. I am pretty excited to see how this does set up. We do have kind of, these higher lows, but at the same time lower highs. We'll see which direction it chooses, but of course the main focus will be the volume and how it reacts to this resistance area in the high twos. But we could have a really nice setup for a breakout. If we go back history wise, we don't have much, but just absolute failure. So it really looks like people who expected this thing to just shit the bed, as that's what it's been doing so far for the past month. Um, Looks like their expectations are broken so far. So if we can just get more demand to come through, more buyers coming in, some more shorts getting squeezed, their expectations are broken. I don't see why we can't test at least the 320s. So that's my thoughts on TORO. Lastly, here INPX, kind of reminding me of TORO, except this one has a lot more history. This chart just goes from the top left to the bottom right. Just nothing good about it. Looks like split after split after split here. Let's see. So we got breakout around 47. After hours, it had some decent price action. Pushed higher here. So I'll keep looking for this area in the high 40s, 50-cent area to prove itself as support. I am approaching this the same way as TORO. You got low float, low market cap heading into Friday. Any shorts whose expectations are broken, considering this garbage chart, would want to be getting out and not risking it over the weekend. So if we can confirm around the high 40s, like I mentioned, first resistance area will be around 54, 55. But if there really is enough demand coming through and it keeps making higher lows, um, I hesitate to say 70. Could aim for 60, 65. Um, but yeah, we'll see how this shapes up. But I think we have three pretty decent options for tomorrow, and we'll see whatever gappers pop up. We'll approach those as usual, looking for the open price VWAP reclaim, and we'll see with these INPX and TORO. Maybe they gap up a bit, hold up decently, and you get a stacking of the patterns where you'll have, in this case, it would be the open price level with the VWAP area lined up with the breakout level.